Hey everyone, it's Joy. Okay, so I talked about in my live that I was going to be talking about my weight story. I'm calling it my weight because it's fluctuated, and you know, I think about all the things that have in my life that have traumatized me and hurt me, and it's very interesting to kind of see how my weight plays a picture in that. And it's like I'm carrying something, this guilt and sadness and shame, and dragging it along with me, and it literally becomes part of me. And so it's going to be my weight story. And I'm trying to get myself back to where I was at one point. Not all the way there, but pretty close. So I wanted to kind of, again, share. I think it's really important that we talk about these things. Nowadays body shaming isn't really a thing, or it is, but not as much, right? And I know for like my growing up and people before me, it's been really hard because society has bred us to think what's beautiful and what is healthy, and but as we learn more and more, like, that's not necessarily the case. So my weight story starts, I believe, when I was 12. So my mom is fairly skinny, and my sister, she's been 100 pounds since middle school. So I was in middle school at 12, and then I started taking medication for depression. I was on Zoloft. And at first I was fine. I wasn't really gaining weight. And I was dancing all the time. Obviously, I was going to ballet every day almost. So I was getting exercise, but then I had my first mental break, or maybe not the first, but the first time I was hospitalized. And when I got hospitalized, they put me on Wellbutrin, Zoloft, and Seroquel to sleep. And sorry, let me back up before that. Before I went into the hospital, I was so severely depressed. I was eating a lot. I wasn't gaining tons of weight, but I was eating a lot. I mean, I remember coming home every day my junior year, and ordering a pepperoni pizza from Pizza Hut every day. I worked, so I had money, and I would just eat that, take a nap, and then go to ballet. Just eating my feelings. So then I go into the hospital, and they put me on that medicine, and I blow up. I was in the hospital for about 5 weeks, and then I was in day treatment for about 5 weeks, and within 10 weeks I was like at 160. It was bad. I remember my director of my studio, my school, she would tell me very frequently that I needed to lose weight, and that was devastating. But I knew it. I already knew that. But it was just devastating to be told that. And I would do things like 2,000 crunches a day, and I would not lose any weight. And it just sucked, and I just became this like big girl with, this is how I felt, a big girl, and people just had kind of low expectations of me when it came to dance too. And then I went to college, and I stopped taking my medicine. I didn't mean to stop taking it. I ran out, and I needed to refill it. And there's about a 3-day withdrawal period for me, and a lot of people when they come off their meds, especially antidepressants, and I felt awful. And then afterwards I felt amazing. And the weight fell off of me. Within like a year, I was back to my dancing figure, and I remember being so happy about it. And my mentor at the time was telling me how I needed to eat cheeseburgers because I was too skinny. And that really hurt because my mentor was a dance person, and back then and even now, you know, people of all shapes and sizes can dance, but to still make it, you have to be thin, and or in shape for most places. So yeah, and then I was fine. And then I was trying to better my life, even though I was not dating a good person. And then he beat me up. And I, again, just started eating a lot. I mean, I always had a hefty appetite, but then it was just like overboard. Eating steak like almost every night, tons of mashed potatoes, not caring, knowing what's right for me, not caring. I was teaching. I had started teaching, but I had eaten so much food. I remember I had like a stash of food because he was really abusive, and I had gotten to where I would have free time at night by myself. He would be playing video games in another room, and so I had like a stash of food, so I didn't have to leave and come back, and like leave and go to the kitchen and come back to the bedroom, and just blew up. And I remember people asking me if I was pregnant. Don't ask people if they're pregnant if you don't have like confirmation before doing it. It's so messed up. It's happened to me so many times. Because my back sways, so then when I get fat, my stomach goes out more so than the normal person, so it looks like I'm pregnant. Anyways. And finally broke up, or got rid of, really not rid of like Carol Baskin, but got rid of the abusive boyfriend, and I started getting my body back and eating healthy, and then I had my body back. I was 24. Oh, I look so great, tight as can be, and I stayed that way for a while. And I had gone to learn like fitness stuff, and so I was like in the gym, eating right. I ended up I hadn't eaten right after a certain point. I was like 26. I got kidney stones because I was eating McDonald's, fish fillets, and sweet tea all the time. And so I got kidney stones, and then after that, it was like super healthy, a lot of raw food. I was in the best shape ever. And then I had retired from dancing, and I found myself in another very horrible relationship. And then my poor dog died, and the day after my dog died, I had been trying to, you know, just maintain wellness and eat healthy and things like that, you know, exercise, meditate, to deal with the bad relationship that I was in, and just feeling good about my purpose and life decisions. And my dog died, and it was devastating for me. And that the next day I ate 2 boxes of oatmeal cream pies. And I blew up, and I haven't been able to deflate myself since. So thought I had a thyroid problem. I'm close to having a thyroid problem, you know. So yeah, and so here I am, bloated up again, the heaviest I've ever been. Luckily, I'm a woman now, so being a little thick isn't terrible. And at some points I was too skinny. I think I looked like a teenager, and I wasn't. But the weight, you know, I'm processing stuff more so. We'll have a video of that one day, but you know, trying to just get rid of all my sadness. And I just feel like a lot of my weight is just sadness. I don't know if anyone else feels that way too. You know, I think especially for women, you know, we see something that's sad and we take it and we bring it in our hearts and we feel it, and then we just store it somewhere, and it just stays there. And, you know, we add and we add, and I just, you know, I'm trying to process that and release it, because I am sad for things in the world and for people and stuff, but my sadness is not going to help the world. So now I'm trying to get back to eating right, which is very difficult because I have found that food is amazing, as we already know. And but yeah, I'm gonna exercise, and please follow me. Please send me exercises to do. If you're working out, we can do it virtually together. That would be great. Peer motivation is some of the greatest motivation. Anyways, so that's my story. I love you guys very much. I hope everyone's staying safe. Mwah. Love you. Bye.